Let's see if I'm already live and everything is going well. I think I am. Hello, hello, everybody. 1 second. We're about to get started. Let me post everywhere and all that beautiful stuff. All right, we got it posted. Now, let me get to the chat just to make sure I'm seeing everything proper. Welcome in, everybody. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna make sure I have the chat open up so I can see everything. Sorry, I'm a bit lagging. Sort of behind the usual. And okay, let's put this on first of all. In the time being, that'll be good. Yeah, all right. Hello, Michalis. Hello, Casey. Howdy, howdy. Yeah, we're gonna get into it right away. Just give it a second so more people can join. Hello, Christoph. Howdy. How you doing? We're gonna get started right away. Make sure to smash him. Hello, lovely people. Our beloved Greg. Hello, Aqua. Hello, Audi. All right. Let's hope people will join quickly so we don't have to wait for too long. Hit the like, absolutely. That does help. Okay, I got the screen on, got mic on. By the way, I forgot to check whether the sound is good. Is the sound good? Is the sound good? Okay, cool. Sound good. Hello, Leo. Hello, Bad Wars. Hello, everybody. Okay, we're about to get started. Let's let some people join in real quick. Honestly, between us, before we get started, I think since I already have it on the screen, I don't think we got too much of a surprise. And we have spoken about how it might take a little bit longer. And really, we pretty much got what we've expected. The one thing that is, first of all, certainly very good that ended up already happening is we ended up closing the gap. We opened up between the 24th and the 27th right here. As you can see, this gigantic hole, and we had a bit of a leftover right here, and that leftover got closed today. We also closed today's gap, so not a big surprise. We kind of spoke about this actually just the one live ago or 2 lives ago, that I've said that there's a high probability it will end up dying out on the process moving towards the top of the gap. Then actually open up on the upper side of the gap, which we pretty much did. We opened up right here, as you can see, slit right through, had some slippage with the momentum. The momentum was already moving upwards to close the gap, and so we had some remnants of that bullish momentum, and so it was squeezed out and we started crashing. So nothing really all that surprising, kind of how we expected it, but pretty much just took 1 day longer, okay? Not a big surprise for us, I believe. Okay, no, a little bit of an echo. That is an interesting one. There should be no echo. Leo, you might be, I don't know why you're hearing echo. You might be hearing it from the Discord that you're on right now. Maybe somebody's echoing. By the way, shout out to our amazing Discord community that is growing very rapidly. And here it is. And shout out to Leo, Paulina, and Shazan, our awesome members right there. To all the members, really, and all the awesome stuff that you guys post and talk about every single day. Don't forget to join us. You'll have the link below. We share charts, we share opinions, we do all sorts of weird stuff. As you can see, rain dances. We do the rain dance. In fact, the only reason the market does whatever it does is because we are successfully rain dancing. That is the only reason the market does anything. Didn't you know? Now, all jokes aside, let's go over the time frames as we normally do, so we can kind of assess what it is that we're expecting in the following sessions. Yeah, shout out to Nanny's there, the best admin on the planet. Just posted the link for the Patreon in the chat, so you can join. definitely switch the ticker of the annually payment so it will be cheaper for you. And let's go over the time frames. I think there's that's what we're here for, right? So this is pretty self-explanatory, I think. At this stage, we're having the crossover of both channels. So, and with this structure, as momentum looks like, with this sort of structure, I'm not going to be completely surprised at all if what we're going to end up doing is testing this bottom, the bottom of the longer duration channel. So completely makes sense. We basically ended up moving, although really slipping out really ugly of that shorter term, to the left, right back in with a big gap, and moved basically from one end of it, from this side of it to this side, right? And now we'll see what the market will decide to do. Right now, it appears to be that we're more so moving to meet that support, and after that, we'll know. Let's look at the larger time frames, see what they indicate. Larger time frames, longer time frames, really, if you really want to insist. What are you doing? Oh, it's that bad? Okay, it's just that bad. Cool, got it. So it's just that bad. It's just that bad, and yeah, the market is very bearish. Big surprise, right? Nothing that we were not expecting. There's a lot of rumors really to why, I guess. If it ranges from the AI and tariffs, and you just name it, honestly, at this stage, to why. A whole bunch of excuses with tech, Walmart, pretty much any excuse under the sun that could be why, but really I don't think any of them are related because we were able to predict this thing before any of today's excuses came up. Let's just be honest. We spoke about this 3 days ago. Most of these excuses showed up on the radar yesterday. So just saying, I'm either connected directly to the internet and I know everything that's going on simultaneously, or just the technicals actually are able to predict the way the market is setting up to behave regardless of fundamental conditions, of the fundamental story. So 30 minutes is really stupid bearish. I mean, in fact, it got me confused for a second. I thought I'm not rebalanced, so I was clicking it over and over and over again. And then I realized we're just that bearish, okay? This is super duper bearish because we're currently on this time frame on the 30 minutes stuck in this junction, right? You can see we're basically stuck in this wedge right now. I would probably argue a pennant, of sorts, at least in this instance, but that's weird, isn't it? Shouldn't it be like a bigger flag? Anyway, that's weird, but sure, cool. Let's call this a bearish pennant, which naturally is bearish, indicative of bearish movement. And if we are honest, what we're seeing here, that we're currently entangled really with the median, although we got entangled with the median as we were moving to the upside. As you can see, that was the direction of the movement. We got entangled in that area. So some would argue we actually have still what it takes to move to 194. I honestly struggle to believe that. In fact, it's quite amazing what we did get right here, right? This sort of structure. We'll see in a second. From here on out, if we're going to expand to larger time frames and look at how the channels are starting to reposition, as you notice, this channel from being kind of tilted a bit to almost flat with slight inkling to the upside, then it went flat, and now it's already pointed downwards. You see, the larger the time frame, the more it appears to be more bearish, at least when it comes to the channel. Another thing we want to emphasize, of course, is that we're still below the 50, right, which inherently quite bearish, and quite obviously pointed to the oversold territory, bearish dominant. So not looking good. Okay, let's be honest. This appears to be as if we're about to retest this bottom at least, or potentially maybe even move into this negative wedge right here. Okay, that's kind of the structure that we're getting right now. Normally, if we do move into a negative wedge, especially one that is not really a part of both channels, but more so this negative space between the two channels, we don't get stuck there for too long. Oftentimes we just test it once or maybe twice at most and just drop off. These do not tend to be too strong. Sometimes they do, but based upon the current structure, I would argue that we will not dwell there for too long and might even continue sliding lower. Pardon me for all the noise and the nonsense on the screen. I'm going to try and get rid of some of it just so we can see clear what is that I'm talking about. Hourly. There we go. Hourly is as bearish as we saw on the 45 minutes. The only problem is that it's hourly. Basically, what we can predict from this time frame is a longer duration movement in the particular direction, dominance rather, than what we have right now in terms of the forces. Right now, bearish dominant, right? So downwards. In fact, it should not be surprising, again, the usual members here, unless we have members or people here who are not the usual members, not the usual sort of participants of the live. You guys should have known, that this is coming. We were preparing for this since last week, and now here it comes about, right? Now let's look at 4 hours. 4 hours, actually, if we're kind of objective about this, it represents exactly this sort of noisy behavior that we've been seeing, and not anything conclusive. But really, if you want to be objective about it, we basically are moving into the sideways channel. This is no longer an upwards, very distinct channel. It's a sideways channel, moving from an upwards trend, right? So we're basically seeing what? The flattening of the curve. Basically, this curve was moving this way. Now we're curving this way, and so now it becomes flat. All right. So, and that's not a good thing. Normally, it can end up with the market rallying post the flat period, or maybe even breaking back down. And we're gonna determine what it is that we see. So right now on the 4 hours, it's uncertain. And at this stage, I would basically advise myself and look at the 1 hour. As we said, we know it's very bearish. And so again, I look at the 4 hours. I try to see how that 1 hour plays into the context of this. And then I zoom in and I realize, of course, if the 4 hours is going bearish, then the 1 hour is basically a zoomed in fragment of this, if you will, right? To put it in simple terms. So yes, it is becoming more bearish at face value. As the D becomes dominant, right, we potentially going to see this entire structure slide lower, implying a continuation into oversold territory, amplifying the downwards direction, right? Let me just clean some of this junk up. I feel like I've gone wild with all the crap on the screen. Just so you guys can see what it is I'm talking about. Okay, I think that should be clean enough. Okay, cool. Coolsies. Now. So yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing right now. But the reality is that if we're looking at least at the adjacent time frame of the 1 minute, it appears to be that we're far more likely to move at least down to retest this channel, which resides at 6,000, 6001-ish, or maybe even lower. Let's see if we have confirmation for even lower, because what we saw on the 1 hourly time frame, at least to 59.20, 59.18, that sort of area. Let's call it 59.20. Okay. And here we go to the daily, and here is the real trouble. Remember, because we saw bearish momentum, so in reality, the 4 hourly does not contradict the daily or the 1 hourly. It just looks confusing enough, so we cannot get a certain idea of what the price action is dictating. If we're looking at this is far more clear, right? We're seeing that we're still bullish, although the bears tried to basically overtake. All that bullish momentum that was spent into the market was able to only bring it back to that flat area, to the previous ceiling, right? So we ended up retesting previous highs all in all, but not really any new highs, not anything that is substantial to say that we're switching over to become bullish. In fact, we're still bearish, and quite evidently so. And if we're going to continue on this path on the daily, basically what we're predicting here is at least a week forward to the downside. So next week appears to be a lot more bearish when it comes to the SPX, right? Now, since again it's the daily chart and we're predicting here multiple candlesticks, at least several of them forward, so we can roughly assess that we're predicting the almost into next week, at least a big chunk of it to be potentially bearish, unless we're going to see something else on larger time frame. Now, below and behold, what we see here is actually bullish. Finally, we're seeing some bullish momentum on the weekly. What does that mean? Well, first of all, I'd like to remind everybody how important it is that we're below the 50% range on the stochastic RSI, which in essence implies that we're still ongoing in a bearish wave. And again, if this contradicts, let's see how this plays into the bigger story of the monthly. If within the monthly story we see that basically the bigger narrative, the longer narrative, is that we're still going to continue moving downwards, imagine that 1 week within the framework of the month can go a little bit more bullish, or basically prevent us from dropping lower, as we said, make us dwell with still with the vicinity of the 6100. The end of it all is that it will overturn. Once that week runs out, the bullish momentum runs out and it spills over. Although what we really saw already, remember, is that the shorter range, the closer range to us, the following next week, appears to be a lot more bearish than bullish. So maybe what we're seeing here is that the following weeks, eventually we're going to have, maybe throughout next week or the week after that, a little bit of a mitigated effect on all that bullish momentum. In other words, not being able to escape higher nor lower, but basically remaining within the vicinity of the 6100. Whether first we drop and then correct back up, it does not allow us to go higher. It keeps us within the very same range, in other words, right? Although I would argue that since the bearish momentum is a lot stronger, we're probably going to end up a lot more bearish. Let me show you. You see, the monthly is the bigger sort of narrative driving force that we have right now. And the more important thing about the monthly, something I've been emphasizing and talking about with my community members, with my students, they all know why it's so important, is the fact of the matter that we are actually hitting the very same resistance of the very same longer duration channel that we ended up dropping because of on December 21. Remember, right? When on 2021, December, November, you remember, wink, wink, right? That was the very same resistance. You can see that diagonal resistance that made us basically start correcting. So what we're saying here, on a very shallow incline, right? Not nothing steep, in fact, nothing of this sort. Something more tame on an angle that is similar to this. In fact, you know what? Let's cheat a little bit. Let's take that very line that I drew here that sort of represents neatly the approach, the angle of this channel. And let's say the market will correct roughly at that very same rate, which neatly puts us at the bottom of another channel, by the way, and into this intersection, right? You see, wasn't even trying anything here. Sort of puts us into that wedge, the same way we familiar the market really likes to do. And that gives us the handle of 48.99, roughly these very numbers that I spoke to you about on the previous lives, mentioned on my Market Apocalypse video. And this, it could be just the very first step. Why are we saying this? Because let's be honest. Let's just look at the previous cycle. How long was this process? How long did this process take us to break back down? Again, right now we're assessing, we're potentially saying, what if this thing plays out similarly? Not worse, similarly, okay? In fact, we can see it how it was represented by the stochastic RSI, exactly as we're familiar with, a slow overturning of the forces, and so convergence, divergence, now they converge on each other, diverge, open up, and the force that is dominant here is the bearish, the D, the red line. The red line represents to you bearish momentum, or in simpler terms, actually the loss of bullish momentum, right? So in other words, if you're a plane up in the sky, your engines died and you start falling and accelerating towards Earth, right? Same kind of thing. So let's pretend we're potentially gonna have the very same sort of approach, drop, and let's see how long these drops take. So I'm gonna completely be fair, and I'm not gonna take it, as you see, I'm not gonna take it by the indicator. I'm gonna grab it by the by the candlestick itself, because objectively speaking, if you want to look at this, what you're going to realize that the correction started really not the month that we ended up breaking down, but actually 3 months before that month. So November itself was very bearish, a correction to that resistance. You can see we were testing it during November as well, right? You can see December ended up retesting that very same resistance, although plowing through, right? And basically retesting that 48.08. The students here can vouch and tell you that they are familiar with these things. Tom, hi, what's up? Tom actually showed up. That's so cool. And that was that very same resistance, basically, that that ended up being some of the force, the junction, if you will, that ended up breaking the market downwards. So that very same force that we're currently tackling is that very same force that we've tackled back then and ended up making the market break. So if we're saying, let's see, how long did the market break back then? How long did that process take? So let's take it from this very candlestick, right? You can see on the stochastic RSI, it appears to be basically almost halfway through, right? Kind of when we're getting closer to the 50 range, wink, wink, surprise, right? Basically right here. So let's count. This is month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months to have that downwards correction. So again, hypothetically, if it's going to have that very same direction, potentially the market can actually correct this within 2 months. How reliable and potential this is, not so much. It's very unlikely that the market will correct so rapidly. Although we do say oftentimes in the market, each in their own way, we say the market, gains in droplets and loses in buckets, or goes up in the stairs, goes down in the elevator, Toms. And that's actually very true. Very often you see that the market ends up correcting downwards on a far steeper approach, far steeper angle. Is just this particular correction was very, very, very slow, in fact. So still, with the benefit of the doubt, I say potentially, what if it will correct this way and it's not going to be very steep, it's going to be very slow. So this very process, we know, can take up to 10 months. Okay, maybe even, well, since we're already gone through these 3 potential months, and people probably you were probably asking yourself, is it certain that we're going to retest it 3 months and then certainly break? No, we could continue testing it for another month, and then maybe even another month, and then the break point will be, instead of 6100, because the slippage from 2 months away from here could be 6175, 6150. Sure, absolutely, that gives a tiny bit more of a rally, although I highly doubt it based upon the current structure as is already pointing to the downside. As you can compare, that's often how it starts. So we're already gone through the process of overturning, right? Retesting or getting rejected by the line. You can see it actively going on, and as we're about to close the month today, we'll have to see how next month starts, but it already is pointing to the downside. Hey gang, how's everyone? Yeah. So I guess nothing really changed, nor do we have any surprises with the upcoming months. And so the only bullish momentum that we found somewhere there in between was that weekly relief rally that is, by the way, below the 50 range. So let's be honest, there is nothing bullish on the screen right now. That's the only parachute sort of device that the market is currently presenting. Currently, I think we're moving into this wedge, big surprise, something that we're familiar with the market liking to do. Basically, we have this force, the resistance of 6100, and yet remember, those who are not familiar, it's okay for the market to slip through and then retrace back down, as long as in the grand scheme of things, it will keep overall the structure of the wedge, even if it will have some little hairs sticking out here and there, poking out this way. That is still keeping the wedge. When we will come to an end, I foresee that the monthly will overtake, and the other sort of more bullish time frames that bearish time frames that we saw will overtake and start taking the market downwards right here. First of all, our first stop will probably be 54 handle, right? Because you see, it doesn't matter whether we go steep downwards or whether we go on a very shallow inclination, it's still going to be roughly around the 54 handle. And then we're going to be continuing, as I originally predicted, 4,800, 4,700, depending on how quick and how shallow the correction will be. Overall, we are generally looking for this resistance, this support to play the major role once we do break down. Probably, play this way or this way, doesn't matter. There are multiple forces here, but it appears to be that this is the direction we're moving. Of course, since the members wanted, we want to look at our usual culprits. I should probably be using a different chart. That's just horrible. Let's just use this one. Okay, let's look at Tesla. We're going to look at Tesla, Palantir. We're going to look at, what else? NVIDIA, I guess, and Apple. Our usual suspects. Plug, there's not much to say, boys and girls. You guys know we're picking it up slowly but surely. 188 is going to take some time. Last time, how long did the last trade was like 2 months, I think, 3 months. So, it may take some time. Plus, we're not certain whether this time around we're going to get the highs we expect. But for the time being, we're just quietly collecting it right here around the 180 handle, 188, 182, 184. Doesn't matter. All good. That is what we're doing with that. Let's look at Tesla. What is Tesla telling us? Tesla, again, I don't think we have any surprises with Tesla. We spoke about Tesla in depth multiple times. I also saw some of the members were satisfied with the other analysis that we've done on some other assets. But again, nothing really all that surprising. The trend is still pointing to the downside. It is amazing how far we were able to outrun my expectations, honestly. We basically moved up to a whole higher shelf. The market honestly was able to push Tesla beyond far beyond my expectation. I even stayed on the sidelines. As most of you know, I originally sold out at 300, so I did not gain this entire rally that we had recently. Quite a significant, well, this rally, more so this rally, right? Let's not exaggerate. I just kind of went too far there, but this recent rally, I did not get to enjoy it. Sure, that happens, right? Now, let's really see what Tesla is showing. Tesla is currently running out of its bullish momentum, and it's not great because it's already pretty low on sort of the scale of where it should be and can be and could be. Now, on the daily, on the other hand, it is already bearish, but starting to wake up. Let's see how valid this is. We know the daily can do that sometimes and sort of can show us temporary trends. Well, your weekly is actually pointing to the downside. Your channel is coincidentally not good because we're sitting right on top of it. As you can see, this is the diagonal. You can see this is the diagonal that we currently have been residing within for quite a long time. In fact, I've already predicted that today we're going to end up moving to 381. So I'm kind of off, but you guys know. I mean, yesterday kind of worked out perfect for me. I guess my rain dance worked out pretty perfect. I was expecting it to drop roughly between a range of 370 to 390. Worked out just as expected. Today is kind of lagging. We did have a lot of bullish momentum as the market opened up, and what we saw with the indices opening up. But now I do expect the market to continue to 381 within the following sessions. Of course, not tomorrow, not Saturday. So we're waiting for Monday to play out. Sadly, it has nothing to do with the performance of the company because there was a miss. It has nothing to do with this. Tesla is an exceptional company. Elon has made a major list of fuck-ups in the recent several months, ranging from his behavior around the gaming community, all sorts of weirdnesses. Most of it is bullshit and has nothing to do with anything real other than the highly disappointing behavior around him lying about something very, very minor. That was like a big letdown for me, myself, and I know a lot of other people. But on the grand scheme of things, guys, Tesla is Tesla. Let's be objective. The EV sales numbers or the car sales numbers are just, this is a joke, right? This is a joke to even start saying the company is done because we had a miss, because of low production numbers, not being able to get as high as expected. Come on. The EV sector is still in its diapers, and remember, of course, the Tesla taxi and all that. I get it; it's cool, but there's plenty of red tape, plenty of issues with insurance ahead. So I'm not rushing towards that direction, nor am I rushing towards the bots. But we all understand that's the future. That's where Tesla is going. So right now, being bearish because of this, it's ridiculous. I mean, come on, let's be realistic. We're bearish not because of this. We're bearish because the market is going to take a dump. It has nothing to do with Tesla individually. Let's stop this nonsense, okay? At least not on this channel. Tesla is a great company, and one day we will all be very happy that we threw tons of money at it. So keep it cool. If you are if you played the long run, you have nothing to sort of get too excited about, unless you want to get out because the market might correct and all that shitty situation. That is a whole separate issue. But then again, basically my point here is, don't take this miss far too seriously. That's nothing. It's meaningless. In fact, we were predicting the Tesla to correct before the earnings ever happen, right? Earnings happen right here. We're expecting Tesla to correct right here, guys. Let's be freaking honest. It has nothing to do with Tesla individually. It is basically market conditions. What we are still seeing is roughly the range of 200, 180. Nothing has changed for us. The only thing that really has changed is that we no longer are seeing that 106, at least at the moment. But when the market will take a dump and will be around these areas, I'm not going to be surprised if there will be like one very bad bad day that will make the market slip here for a couple of days and retrace back up. That is definitely a possibility. Is it a certainty? No, hell no. Right now, the only thing that is, in my opinion, far more certain is the bottom of the channel. Whether it's going to be more around this vicinity or more around this vicinity, it doesn't matter how quickly we're going to make it. Remember, in the grand scheme of things, it's going upwards so very slowly, so it doesn't matter whether we hit 185 or whether we hit 200 and then have some slippage to 180 something. You understand, right? It's kind of that's the area. We're looking at the bottom of the channel as the market will continue correcting. And then again, it has nothing to do with Tesla nor the stupidity of Elon's recent behaviors. Nothing with none of it. Okay, let's just be frank. Yeah, I mean that's kind of it. There's not much to say about that, I guess. We knew Tesla is probably going to go for a correction a while back. Yes, they were able to outperform still. At the end of the day, what got them caught up is the 414.50. Although we saw the price action slip through above retest resistance, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we can objectively say that at the moment what ended up stopping it is the 414, unless we're going to see some other price action before the year ends. But this is what we saw, and this is what we expect. What else? Should we do Palantir? There's not much to do about Palantir. We kind of spoke about them. Where is that? I had a really good chart for Palantir. I was just kind of showing the whole thing. Yeah, here it is. It's that one. I think it's that one. It is that chart. Yeah, it is that chart. Yeah, it is that chart. So pretty much almost accurate, kinda. So the expectation was that we're gonna go higher, right? And then question mark, because we're not sure. But generally speaking, my expectation was to go down and right here, right? You can see that was posted on the Discord. We showed this off on the live. The market ended up really outperforming. In fact, really outperforming, basically. Running to previous highs as high as 45. Does that mean anything in the grand scheme of things? I mean, cool. If you were able to somehow drag it out this long and forgot to execute and whatnot, and again, this is not financial advice, you do you, but somehow you were able, first of all, if you were able to execute here, consider yourself a sniper, a lucky one probably. I'm not sure you probably did it intentionally, but damn, that would have been sniping, okay? At this stage, knowing that that's the basically the limitation, right? The ceiling. And given that the actual resistance that's preventing you from going up higher is the 81.15 right here, call it 80, doesn't matter. It's kind of the whole area of this. You can see it right here very clearly. And so, yeah, consider yourself tremendously lucky if you were able to execute that far. But I would like to draw your attention to the stochastic RSI, which I think quite indicative of upcoming price action. And I'm going to show you the scariest bit right here that's going to be completely obvious to you, right? You can see again, no matter where you look, it's overturning and becoming more and more bearish. So the whole idea here that we expected this to happen roughly around the resistance area and not actually break through, but below and behold it did. Retested previous resistances, so not a big deal, but all in all, it is now very bearish. How bearish? Let me show you. No, that's well, come on. You notice we're basically getting ready to spill over, blah, 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 but this is how bearish you are. This, in fact, is how bearish you are, okay? This is how bearish the market is. Go away. So, you see? And this is on the monthly again. We say that this potentially indicates roughly around, 8, 9, 10, 12 months, maybe even 14 months, because again, a standard deviation, right? Out of the 12, I'm going to go with the 12, so it can be up to 14 months of downwards pressure. Because even when we hit the bottom, who says we're not going to scrape it for like 4 months afterwards, right? And so the prediction currently stands roughly at around 50% drop, giving it a 40 something handle. Yeah, that is it. That is kind of the crappy situation with Palantir. And again, I'll say it has nothing to do with Palantir. Palantir is great, and it will be great, and it will be even better with time. Better earnings, better everything. Doesn't all of this mess that is upcoming has nothing to do directly with Palantir, Tesla. It has a lot to do with Nvidia, I'm not gonna lie. Even Apple plays a big role, but these two companies really have nothing to do with the damage they're about to get, honestly. Um, Another a good example would be a company we all are looking at in my community is Kratos Defense. Amazing company that works on rockets, engines, microwave technology, all sorts of really cool stuff for the military, but we understand that even they will drop whether we like it or not. And in fact, are expecting to have a play on them because it's going to drop. If you really want to see, here it is. Even though conditions are as such right now, a lot of geopolitical tension and this and that, everybody's going to get hurt. All the companies. Right, because of Discord. Yep, I had a feeling. Hey, Tom is here. Hey, Tom. Hey, Tom. It became all about Tom. Michalis. All right, Michalis. Reminder, please use the star before the absolutely. Yeah, let's go over some tickers. Let's look at tickers. BHF, right? I think that which that's okay. Let's what's the okay? That's pretty normal for that though. I mean, that sort of does that. I see, although still exceptional. Bright House Financial. Okay, financial. Okay, that says a lot. That does kind of make sense then. All right, that's gonna be pretty cool and simple. So let's just save ourselves the trouble and do like this and like that, and yeah, that totally works. No surprise there. And your let's just why can't you just do it from there? Why can't I? Oh, there we go. Just in case. So I'm gonna have you, boys and girls. Then let's say this will daily perfect. Okay, it's in. No, this is not good for you because you're obviously gonna correct this down, and this is not indicative of an actual bullish wave as much as it is of an entanglement, right, the same way you saw it right here. And probably this time around it's going to look more like this, and this is downwards pressure, so like this, in fact, maybe like this. Again, what we said, that keeps you up, that what brings you back up. And yes, here is your actual problem. Here we found the problem. The problem is that they basically are stuck at the ceiling and have a temporary relief while they're actually going to continue downwards. It appears to be that they're testing currently 50 range, right? So before able to break down. But I would argue that the continuation of this, based upon what we saw here, of course, kind of re-ask me later, within several months, I would argue. A couple, probably. But this appears to be that from here on out, you will correct. This has been bullish for far too long. And in fact, sadly, you're going to correct, first of all, it's going to be a sort of a process. You're going to first correct here, probably retest that 53.50, and only then break to 43.53. Okay. Oh, almost forgot. I also wanted to look at NVIDIA. By the way, those who didn't follow NVIDIA's back to the channel, as I told you, it will break eventually too. Here it is. It came back to the 118. We're finally there. It took forever though, far longer than expected. You have 118, you have 112.95, and you have 110. Below 110, you have 100. And that's what you have. And we're still hurtling towards this. Basically, we are retesting these series of 3. And once we're done with this, if successful, we continue to retest this level. Okay, that's going to be a range. Basically, now it's going to flip over from the 100 being the lowest line of resistance or support, if you will, it will become the top. It will become the ceiling. If right now it's going to be the floor, once we penetrate through, it will become the floor. And so then you're going to still have a set of three, which is going to be 100, 195.41, 91.12, or in other words, you might as well just call it 90. Make your life simpler. You have a whole array of things here, so call it 90 to 100. $10, a bunch of noise in between. Okay, cool. We're done with that. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of starting to show all the stuff we said is going to come through. As you can see, is slowly coming through and slowly happening. Although this gap is kind of annoying. The market might want to close it before, which means it might want to do this weird sort of thing. That really is not something I'm seeing at the moment, but it still is within the framework of that channel. And so it's not going to be all that weird that if it makes it to this top, it will probably be able to have some slippage to close that gap. Again, not sure, but it can happen. Because right now we're kind of on the bottom of the channel, right? We're edging basically to the bottom of the channel, which is right here. And from here on out, once retested, we can start correcting back up, which still provides us the golden pocket right here on the shorter range. If we're already there, we're probably going to close that gap, in case people are wondering what it is that we're talking about. I'm going to delete the max, don't worry, so people don't confuse. Okay, so that's what we're talking about here. That is it. That is it, boys and girls. That is it about that. We said, what else were we saying? We're saying earnings Palantir Monday. Right, good. Thank you for reminding me, Reed. This is actually in the community. We're going to be doing a hangout talking specifically about Palantir. We're probably going to be doing it on Sunday evening, just as last time we had it, but it depends on how Tom's Zoom will be. Maybe we're going to do it Saturday, tomorrow. We'll see, but over the weekend, we're definitely going to have a hangout and go over. But I mean, pretty much you kind of seen what it is. It's not going to change. I'm not going to give a different prediction. I'm just going to run this through for the community members. It's pretty much everything we've done right now on the live. And then I'm going to be stepping off to do a more of a private call with the students, with the academy students, where we're going to go even deeper on a deep dive and look at that. But really, it's not going to be any different from what we just said. Palantir has a big gap in November 24.97 over the earnings for Q3. Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if that's going to be closed, Bed Wars gang. That's probably going to be a big part of it as we're going to get to these lows. Thanks, Greg. If there is another ticker, then ARHS. No, there are no other ticker. Of course, let's do that. ARHS, right? Let's do that. Rather fresh. That's going to be a difficult one. That means it doesn't have a lot of data, and so subsequently it's going to be a difficult read. Yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure the market probably went with this, at least for now. What is that? Yeah, at least it's short term. So let's do this. What did I just do? Did I just do the stupid? No, I mean, I didn't. What? I mean, what? Am I reversed? Am I reversed? Could it be reversed? I mean, no, it's right. No, okay, well, cool. Let's see. 1362. Obviously, it still has enough juice probably to test closer to it, since it's so close. Not gonna be surprised. Monthly does not have any data. That sucks. Seriously? No? Okay, yeah, I was like, what? Okay, relief rally. Again, yeah, that's your correction downwards. Here is your relief rally, and soon it's gonna run out. You're not gonna have any data for me there, right? No, nothing. That's problematic. I'll have to look deeper into the asset to give you any thoughts on this one. It's far too young But it appears to be that it's basically coming to a threshold and about to start slowly going downwards. That's the very same resistance so far, working very neatly. Here's its median, here is its stop, here is its slippage, and here is top again, and we're basically moving down. So from here on out, I think your direction should be roughly around 11, 10, 11, 10, 11, 10, 11, 10. 11, 10. Basically 11, 10. 11, 10 area, and I'm not going to be surprised if you're going to have a psychological 10 here. 10 is normally a very powerful level, so especially within the framework of such prices. So here you go. There it is. Let's see if you can see it. Here it is. You can see it shining through, being retested again and again and again. You can see here, 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 and here's some kind of arguable, but yeah, I can't go anymore because that's all the price action you had. But as you can see, 10 does play a role very well, very well established. That's it. That is your thingy. Remember over the earnings for Q3. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, we did that. Can you do GLD, please? Let's do GLD. Let's do GLD, then SLV, GLD, and SLV. Haven't we done GLD just last week? I don't think anything really changed. I don't remember what I said though, but I don't think anything changed. Gold, at least for now, appears to be wanting to get here. And once achieved, back down. Here's that juice that's left over. Once complete, turn over, start breaking down. 275 is your major resistance. Then you're gonna have something around probably 240. Call it 240. That makes sense, yeah. With this price range, it's 240. Absolutely. How? Wink, wink. Yeah, just screw that. Let's just make it kind of stand out like that, right? It's probably going to have an arrow channel there as well, so it's going to look more like that. Wink, wink. Oink, oink. Oink, oink. Alrighty, and yeah, here it is. Here it is. Everything as expected. Go back up, maybe retest this sort of thing, then retest this sort of thing, and then break it down. But you are turning around, sir. Madam, sir, madam, sir. Sir, madam? Yeah, madam. So, SLV now. I didn't notice who was asking. I'm sorry. It's hard to remember. Don't you dare do the thing now. I didn't notice. Well, I was right. Look at that. Below and behold. We said apparently from down to up right here, and that's where we are. Cool. I could have not expected this. Bad words. Did you plan this? Was that the plan? Did you plan this? Was that the plan? Is the plan? Ja? Verspluggen met bloegen. That's exactly what we were saying is going to happen, or what were we saying? Or that's what we were saying is going to happen when it does break and then afterwards correct. I'm confused. What's going on? Screw what we were saying. Let's see what we were saying now. Now I'm saying it's going to go down from where it is now. So, if anything, this appears to be getting ready to move down. So here it is. It's, yeah. And so then after going down, it's still going to go down, and your actual, is it? No. Okay. Let's see. What do you have as, okay, cool. Cool these. Your fib look on this looks like this. I'm pretty sure. There you go. You see, I'm a magician. I need to get a magician title. From here on out, I am magician. I'm going to be called Greg the Magician. The channel is going to be called Technical Magic. Rain dancing and astrology. Right. All jokes aside. Majoring in crooked butt pattern. No, I shouldn't have deleted this probably. Majoring in crooked butt pattern. Below and behold, now you know what's preventing you from moving up. That was the culprit. 28.40. 28.40. And so you have this thing. You have that thing. We're basically on median. Big surprise. You want to see how good this median is? Here, you can see now it's the longer term. Weird, right? It is pretty good. It is pretty good. I tell ya. Look, you see, it has been respected for a long time. You see the median working very well. See how well it workings? It is workings. Let's just clean this up before it gets really messy and dirty, and then I get confused. But crooked butt pattern. The idea here is simple. You have hit resistance and you're currently being tested by this wedge, and the idea here is that eventually you're going to get more and more downwards pressure, and once it breaks and ends this squeeze, that will keep you still around the 28.40, and if somehow by some unbelievable luck you will be going higher from here before you actually break, you're going to be doing this, which is 34.42. I would call it 34.50. 34.50. 50. Not 56, 50. And I would be calling this bottom just 33, pardon me, simply because it's too close. And I would argue that these levels, your midpoints and round numbers will still have effect. Will not the SLV get to around 34? Yeah, I just told you. Here it is. Will not the SLV get to around 34? I mean, it can. Again, it still can based upon this, right? But if the market, well, actually, no. Fuck the market. Pardon the French. Right. No, yeah, you can definitely make it here, but consider this your ceiling. Why? Is that what I predicted last time, Bad Wars? Is that what I said last time? Because I really don't remember. You guys know, too many tickers. I can't keep up with everything. It's impossible. It is impossible, I tell ya. Where was GLD? Yeah, right. GLD, SLV. Yeah. It was all yours. Okay, I've covered that. Was that my prediction, Bad Wars, last time, that we're going to move towards 33? No, because of other clues on your chart. I gotcha. Yeah, no, absolutely possible. Absolutely possible. I mean, look at this. We know that was the previous resistance. We know it's the stronger major level, if you will, but really, although it tested all over the place, I mean, but for that, you're not going to have conditions as you had them back then. Or will you? It might actually overshoot. But then again, you'll know by then that at 34, let's say it this way. Let's say you arrive at 34 and somehow a chart adjusts and you still have, a metric ton of bullish momentum. Yes, you're obviously going to do 39, 81 or 40 in other words, right? But let's first make it to 34 if at all, because right now it's still stuck at 28, 50, 40, 28, 40. That's where you're at still. It has bullish momentum, but will that bullish momentum dissipate as we go in? I know you guys think of silver and gold immediately as safe havens, and immediately if the market breaks down, these go up. Look, this is what part of the case of what could play out for it, but then again, it's not always the case, especially given that, well, gold and silver both are kind of elevated already as is. But then again, we do understand that they can go even higher, absolutely, right? But at the moment, again, let's see how it behaves, and does it really break that 28.40 area, or does it break below it? Because currently it's not able to penetrate. It's kind of stuck within the framework of 28. Even if it penetrates slightly higher, we all know we do not get carried away immediately. We'll not become biased. We look at the longer, sort of further range, outer range of the chart. Yeah, longer end, if you will. RPRX, if it's still enough juice for you to check tickers. Yeah, absolutely, Johnny. Let's do it, brother. Let's do. I do have enough juice for you to do this thing. Although, what is it? Why is it so suspiciously familiar? I hope I was able to answer your question, Bad Words. What is that? RPRX. Why am I supposed to know the Royalty Pharma? Huh? Have we checked this recently or something, Johnny? Or maybe just because it's similar to something. Maybe I'm just being a moron. Oh, that sucks. It's so young, man. I hate when things are just so fresh. I'm gonna take a gamble here. I really have a feeling this is not gonna work, nor should it really. There is a possibility it works. Should have not spoken to so soon. I should have not spoken so soon. It actually is the correct way to go. Wait, what? How fresh is this? Am I insane? When is that? When did it start that? Well, okay, then sure. Okay, I guess. Cool. Okay. So they knew. So pharma. Who does that? That's okay. Let's see. I wanna check this then. Um I mean, yeah, that's kind of the only thing that you had and health technology, where although irrelevant. So healthcare is not necessarily, so this is not benefiting from a sector-wide movement, obviously. What is it benefiting from exactly? I mean, this is not completely clear to me, this whole shtick, right? But what is clear to me is this shtick and that median. And I'm fairly certain, and with this momentum, you're not going to make it all too far when this juice runs out, which is still roughly here, or maybe with this creeping up SMA on the 33. Where's that on the daily? Or yeah, it's already below, so it's going to meet it halfway. 27, and subsequently because the gap is so close, so just call it 26. Let's call it 26. How soon? 4 weeks ish. May take longer. Not financial advice. You do you. Potentially within the framework of the 4 to 5 weeks, you're gonna have that done. You know what? I'm not gonna be this way. I'm just going to say 4 to 5 weeks. You're probably going to get that range, which will bring you significantly lower, because what happened here is you already finished the cycle and now you're already on the process down. Doesn't mean it's going to be smooth, but you're already down. Which means, yeah, essentially, in essence, if you're really going to suck for you, you are going towards roughly around 28, it appears to be handle. And if things will really suck, 2405. So yeah, I mean, sorry. It's just too young for me to say anything else. I cannot be certain, and it does appear to be a lot more bearish than bullish. And in fact, it's not clear what did they get, like a good new CEO or something, that they had this movement or not. Yes, thank you. Awesome. No, at least now and me. Have you been checking tickers with other ones? Should I be jealous? Of course you should be jealous, Johnny. I check tickers with everyone around. What do you think? But when I'm with you, you're the only special one. I swear. It's a bit, Johnny. I think we should look into this to why it recently had this rally because I don't see any sort of technical. Maybe in fact it could have been something technical, right? Maybe it could have been technical on the earnings, the balance sheet, right? Something that I don't know. Maybe a new CEO. Maybe somebody else invested in them. Maybe something of this sort because this is quite artificial. Let's be honest. I mean, this is something. And I don't remember us having anything too substantial, right, on the 8th that would warrant this. Maybe contract or something, expanding somewhere, something. I don't know. I mean, but that has to be the reason. But it appears to be first wanting to go down before it ever has any chance to go any higher. And right now it's too fresh for me to say whether it's gonna go higher or how soon or what's the intention because it doesn't have data. It simply doesn't have enough price action to give us any data to actually work with it. This is inconclusive. This in fact may move higher first before breaking down. Moving higher, maybe best case scenario will give you 36.10, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna discuss it by then multiple times. So I think we should discuss this in the community and you should maybe check out headlines and stuff because I think there has to be something more to that price action. Or if the car was a sale, development funding bonds. Okay, that makes sense. That 2 days ago. That means somebody knew in advance, right? Because that wasn't 2 days ago. That was a little bit more than 2 days ago. So that was last week proper. So somebody knew and ran into this, and probably your ceiling based upon this sort of artificial movement is 33. And so kind of that's the excuse. Royalty Pharma announces sales of Morphosis development funding bonds. That's probably it. StoneX Group Incorporated SNEX hits fresh highs. Is there still room to run? That has nothing to do with that. Probably correlated somehow with RP. Maybe a sector-wide movement. Yeah. Okay, so we see this. Basically, that was the headline. In other words, unless there was something else there that I didn't know or see. So, all in all, too young to be certain, but it appears to be more bearish than bullish. Let's see how did we close. I was so caught up with running forward I didn't even notice how did we close. But okay, I see. Nothing weird. Nothing weird at all. Basically back to closer to the resistance line from afar. Let's remove some of that noise and junk. So I guess earnings today may play some role into things, or maybe just that's it. The month is closed. The monthly candlestick is closed, right? We're going to progress to the very next one. And let's see how things will look like, right? I mean, right now, if the very next candlestick will open up low, that means nothing, absolutely, because we throughout the month can move higher, just putting it out there before you hear some dumbass telling you that, if we open below, it means nothing. That's what it means. It means abso-fucking-lutely fucking nothing. Okay, cool. Because we can open here, right? We can open with a weird gap like that and then just rally up. Where we open, come on. You guys know. It's meaningless. But yeah, it does appear that the market tends to be a lot more bearish right now and building more of a bearish structure than a bullish structure. Of course, we'll be far wiser next week. But what we're seeing right now is bearish. That's it. So no big surprises for us. Cool. Trump just was speaking on tariffs on oil. Ooh. Let's see, did oil do anything? Started bouncing back up just as we thought. Although it did go goddamn low this time around. Although it did say that we were going to break from 80 back to around 74, 75. So maybe even 73. So, I mean, come on. We kind of knew this is coming. So chill. Anybody who's excited and worried about oil going downwards, we know, look, Trump will bring oil prices down. The problem by the time he's actually going to be able to affect oil prices, by then oil will rally to roughly around, 100 and like I don't know, 140 or something, right? 120. And so yeah, he will be able to bring it back down to 70, and eventually maybe affect things in such a way that it will be brought down below 70. But honestly, it looks like his entire candidacy, oil is not going to be dropping below these ranges. Right now, it appears to be that oil wants to go even farther higher rather than lower. Just to point out, we haven't even yet penetrated overbought and just starting the wave upside. Okay, just kind of that's 45. That's 1 hourly. Bearish, let's be honest, but still overturning. You're probably not seeing this. Here it is. You see becoming bullish. So probably another impulse. And here is your actual problem with oil, this. Because these processes are very long. Again, very long, right? For example, this process can take 16 days. So we're looking here roughly at about 2 to 3 more weeks before we're able to get back to 80, potentially. Okay? And this is actually steep, so very long. 2 to 3 weeks at least before we see any price action that is substantial to bring us to previous highs. Then probably another retest, confirmation of this channel, and only then actually go higher. Weekly becomes even longer. That's actually bearish, bullish bearish, because again, objectively at face value bearish, but overbought still. And here it is. Here is your actual further out problem into which we're going to spill over, because remember, that bullish momentum on the daily, once executed, it's going to bring us right here. Guess what? This will appear to be somewhere around here, and so giving us indication of movement upside. Remember to connect the movements that we're seeing. Remember, we're going down, we completed down, and we're starting to slowly pick back up. Right? Here it is. You can see the overall overarching channel. And these take forever. These things just take forever. I mean, that's just, you can see, right? In fact, screw it. I'm going to be generous. Let's take it from the edge. Let's take it from the edge, and we're just now about to start to pick up 915 days. You call it 4 years, basically. And I mean, if you have any doubt, right, you can look at the dates right here. Right, you can see how we're starting to pick back up. We're basically testing previous channel resistance we were doing right here, and so back into previous location, and probably moving back up. I think the 3 month was already indicating no, it's not yet, but soon it's going to overturn. And when the 3 month, but you see, the thing is, by the time the 3 months overturns, we're already going to be clearly far more bullish than we are right now, so it doesn't matter. That's kind of a stretch, me saying the 3 month will show. By the time the 3 months will show, we don't gonna need to go to 3 months. The monthly will be screaming bullish, so there's that. All right, boys and girls, I think we're done for today. We did not do it in record time, but it was pretty good. Don't forget, we're going to have an academy meeting for everyone over the weekend. For the Patreons, we're going to have a meeting talking about Palantir. Those who are not yet on the Patreon nor on the Discord, here it is. Join in. If you join in this way, don't forget to switch the ticker right there. You can see in the middle of the screen to get a 15% discount. So then you will be able to join us right here on this very cool thing. And of course, before you do, don't forget that you will be first right here in the FAQ channel, which then allows you and gives you all the instructions to connect your accounts in case they were not yet. So if you only see this one channel, basically the FAQ and the support, what you need to do is go to this orange partition. You see Patreon, the one that's Patreon. Go to, or the very same link right here on the bottom, right? Very same link. Connect your accounts, and you should be fine. All right, cool. That is cool. We are done, boys and girls. I will see you on the very next one. All have a great weekend. I think we're all prepared for what's coming next week. And that's it. See you on the next one. And, well, of course, yeah, members, don't forget to join the Hangout. I will announce in the message board when we're going to have the meeting. Be attentive. Alrighty. Bye-bye.